Can you believe what we're doing here? We're renovating this house, which is a lottery show home. So in the early 2000s, people lined up at the front door to see how amazing this house was. And now we're here in 2025 renovating it. So clients want to update the kitchen, they want to update the fireplace, they want to update the powder room and give the whole place a nice facelift. In this video, we're going to walk through and we're going to show you what we're going to do. And we're going to show you why people choose priority builders for their awesome renovations. So in the early 2000s, people walked in this house because it was a lottery show home and they're like, look at this kitchen. Oh my God, it's so amazing. Well, it doesn't really give you that feel anymore. As you zoom in, you can see a lot of cabinet damage all over the place. Things just aren't fitting right. The doors are sagging and the cabinets are bowing. And well, you got this thing right here too, which I don't know about you, but that just doesn't look right. So coming in through, you know, we got to do a full update in this kitchen. You see, we have laminate countertops. Nobody does laminate anymore. It's super, super cheap. Everybody does quartz. Some people do granite still. So we're going to really modernize this space. One of the first main things for functionality is opening up this walkway. Look at how tight this is. As I walk through here, I feel like I got to walk sideways because there's just no room. If I pull the stove out, and I want to throw something in the trash at the same time, which you never know, you might want to, you don't have much room. If you're pulling something out of the stove, I do not feel comfortable with my ass in the sink. It just doesn't work for me. So what we're going to do is we're going to rip this all out, rip out all these cabinets, and when we add the island, because we have so much space in this vicinity, we're going to make sure the island is kind of at level with this portion here of the cabinetry, and everything is going to be totally reorganized, reimagined, it's redesigned, and it's going to be freaking awesome. Right here we'll have an appliance garage. So, you know, an appliance garage is really a place you can hide your appliances behind closed doors. So you know how you have appliances on your countertops? You don't have to do that. You can have a garage, and inside that cabinet, essentially, you're going to have your appliances with power. And the way you can do that and make sure it meets code is as soon as you shut those doors, it cuts power. And as soon as you open up, you'll have the power. So you will have the power with this renovation. No, I'm just joking. But anyway, you can have your coffee maker in there, your blender, all that kind of stuff, and you can just close the doors. And that way you don't have all this clutter on your countertop, right? One of the unique challenges with this renovation is all the trim and all the casing and all the doors has a lacquer finish. So the best way to show you is actually on this pantry door. So if you look at this, it's got a really glossy finish. It actually feels really nice, right? It feels like a custom furniture or something like that. So this is what they used back in the day, but the clients don't want this cream colored, you know, doors and trim anymore. So what we're gonna have to do is we're gonna have to put a mask on because lacquer is very toxic. We're gonna have to sand it all down. We're gonna have to add a couple coats of bonding primer and 2 or 3 coats of paint in order to get this to a nice white color, right? So a lot of work here, but we have to do that throughout the entire main floor and second floor. So it's more expensive. It's more expensive than regular painting because there's a lot of prep involved, there's safety involved, and there's certain procedures we have to follow to do it the right way, right? So look at this fireplace. Isn't this the most unique thing you've seen for a long time? I mean, you got like the steps up there, you got the airbrushing, just the way they did the mantle and the shelves and everything. If you walked into this house in like 2001, you'd be like, this is unbelievable. This is so futuristic, man. This is so cool. But in 2025, it's like, man, that is so 2001. Like, we got to upgrade this. So, you know, as you walk through, like, we're going to give this a full revamp. We're going to have a nice white oak mantle on top. We're going to have a white oak face on the hearth. This is what this is called, a hearth. It's not a hearse, so nobody is going to end up dead in a frickin' vehicle driving away. It's going to be the hearth upgraded. And then on the top, we're going to have tile. We're going to have new tile wrapping around, some new shelves on this side. And over here, back in 2001, the biggest TV that you could get was like a 42-inch TV, right? You get a 42-inch flat screen. Man, you got a 42-inch, that's insane. That's so huge. Like, you got to sit so far back. Now that's such a small TV that if one of your friends had a 42-inch TV, you would probably disown them as a friend, you'd unfollow them on Instagram, and you would block any contact information that you would have from them. But now you have the option to buy a 60-inch TV or 70-inch. So we gotta upgrade this. And that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna take that pillar out on the side and be able to fit a larger TV, because that's what the clients asked for. As well, we're going to change some of this really Mickey Mouse wiring that was run by TELUS. I hate when people do stuff like that. You could have just popped the baseboard off and run it underneath the baseboard. We do have airbrushing all the way up, so there's a lot of work with the airbrushing to paint that. So if you ever are walking in a situation where you have to fix and repaint the airbrushed wall to a flat, smooth surface, you're gonna have to do a lot of sanding, and then you might have to do some multiple coats of priming. Sometimes what you have to do, which we might have to do, is what's called a level 5 mud. So we'll have to take actual drywall mud and just do a whole bunch of coats and sanding and get it all perfect. We got this ceiling fixture here that's got a little bit of a shake. And years ago, I pulled a ceiling fan down like that, and it had literally 2 threads left on the nut. So you have the bolt, and then you have the nut. So say the bolt was like this long. Let's just say it was that long. Well, the nut was just hanging by a thread, and there was about 4 of them just by the thread. So years of shaking like that, just they slowly moved, and at any moment it was ready to fall. So I'm curious when we pull that down to see, is that thing hanging by a frickin' thread? Anyway, we're gonna replace it. So we're now here in the powder room. Yes, that's right. I'm pouting in this room because it needs a renovation. And I have dad jokes for days, so do not test me, people. We're gonna do a new vanity that kind of matches the kitchen cabinets, a new mirror, light fixture, toilet, and we're gonna also add some wainscoting that's gonna go wrapping around. So it's gonna be a nice high-end powder room. And anytime you're looking to do a renovation, think about your powder room. If you're doing the kitchen, fireplace, main floor, this is another feature that you'll definitely want to upgrade, because it will stand out if you don't do it. And if you do it later, separately, you're going to have a lot more expense for it, because you're going to have all these trip charges and stuff. So when we're doing renovations, we have all the trades here. And if you do something small like this, it's only going to have a small cost addition to your project. So upstairs, all we're going to do is we're going to paint all this nice millwork. So we got a bunch of built-in shelves, and we got some cabinets and everything like that. So we're just going to refresh the space that is open to the below. So this is called an open to the below, as simple as that term is. And we're going to paint the fronts of the doors and just the hallway and things like that. So we're not going to actually paint inside the bedrooms. That'll probably come at a later date. But that way, when you're walking through this house with the doors closed, it feels like a fully updated space. And that's what we're doing here at the Lottery Dream Home Renovation. Like I said, in the early 2000s, this house was stunning. People lined up, people bought tickets, and they wanted to win this house. Now, all anybody wants to do is renovate this house. That's why we're here. The clients want to update it. They want to love their home again. So we're going to be doing the kitchen, the fireplace, the powder room, all the painting and all this kind of stuff. And at the end of this renovation, the clients are going to love it. They're going to give it a thumbs up. Do not forget to like and subscribe, follow us. And if you're in the Edmonton area looking for an amazing renovation with an awesome experience that definitely gets a thumbs up, please reach out to Priority Builders. Thanks for watching.